Okay, so on this one, we have this graph here. It says, assume the graph goes forever left and right, type U to connect intervals. Okay, so we have this graph. It asks us a bunch of questions. First off, where's f prime equal to 0? So remember, f prime is slope. So they're saying, where's the slope equal to 0? Meaning, where's the graph flat, right? Zero slope is flat. So imagine you're riding the roller coaster, woo, of this graph, woo, like that, right? Where are you flat, even if for just a second? Well, looks like you're coming in right there, right here. You go flat for just a second, right? Looks like that's the negative zero point 0.5. And then here you go flat, and that's x equals 1.2. Those are the two places where you're flat, right? If you're on the roller coaster, right there, you'd be flat for just a second. And right here at the bottom, you'd be flat for just a second. And where is f prime undefined? And what does that mean? That means it's vertical. So remember, f prime, again, is slope. So that means the slope is positive or negative infinity, meaning it's vertical, straight up, straight down. That's when the slope is undefined. Where does that ever happen? Yeah, right here. See, it's going up, 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 and down, down, down. What is that? Well, this is -1. Might wonder how I know. Well, see, it's telling me this point is -0.5, so this must be -1. This must be -2. Oh, yeah, you can see -3, -4, there's -5, right? So it's at -1.5, isn't it? So it's vertical at -1.5. And then it asks, okay, what are the critical values? Well, that's just those put together. Let me just write that for you. It's kind of the one of the important terms in this section. Critical values, they're all the x places where the slope is 0 or plus or minus infinity, meaning it's flat or it's vertical. Those are all called critical places. So you just put together these answers and these answers, and there's three answers altogether, any order. There we go. Those are all critical. They're critical because the slope goes flat or the slope goes up, goes vertical, flat or vertical. That we call those critical places. And there's places where it might be a maximum or a minimum or might not, but they're critical. They're important for, if this is a science function for physics, chemistry, medical science, business. Those are critical points. Okay, where does F have relative minimum? That means minimum in his vicinity. So that'd be right here. And that's really it. Wait, let me get rid of some of my scribbling all over this thing. Um, yeah. So again, where his relative minimum? Oh yeah. So it's at -0 0.5. That's the x value, right? It's right here at this. This is a minimum right here, and this is the x, and this is the y. The y is 0. The minimum is 0. That means the y, and the x is -0 0.5. That's where the minimum occurs. That's called a relative minimum because this isn't the minimum value, right? The function goes lower than that in other places. This right here is not the overall minimum, but it's the local or relative minimum related to the stuff around it in its locality, its minimum, right? Relative or over or local minimum. Where's the relative max? Well, that would be, you know. It's right there. Here's the max. So this is the x, this is the y. So the x is 1.2 the y. Relative max, there's the y, there's the x. In his vicinity, he's maximum in his relative area. All right, now we're going to answer the bigger question. What about the absolute? It's also called global. Absolute, overall, global. Is there an overall lowest point? No. No, the graph seems to go down there forever. So there's D and E on both those. Does not exist. Okay, well then um, what about an absolute or global max? Is there an overall highest point? No, no, the graph seems to go up forever there, so those are D and E also. Okay, well, then it's coming on down. Where is f prime greater than 0? So let's be clear on that. F prime greater than 0. Greater than 0 means positive. And that means slope. Slope is positive. Right, because f prime is slope. Slope positive, what does that mean? The graph goes up. And we're always talking left to right, right? Because if the slope is positive, that means the graph's going up. left to right. So where's the graph going up left to right? Well, starting right here at the bottom, that's the minimum, right? It goes up just in that section. So that's from x is negative 0.5 to x is 1. 1.2, I mean. Yeah, this is a 1.2. So x is negative 0.5 to x is 1.2. Those are x's. Remember, intervals, that isn't xy, that's xx. Those are two different x values, two different places on the x-axis. We're saying from, from this x spot to that x spot in that section, in that interval, the graph is going up. First derivative is positive. Okay, now, where's the first derivative negative? The graph, so f prime less than 0, negative. That means the slope is negative, and that means the graph goes down, down, left to right. Where's it going down, left to right? Well, all of this is going down, and all of this is actually, no, that arrow's up. No, it's left to right. So left to right, that's going down. So we're going to say, okay, from negative infinity up to negative 1.5, right? Because this spot right here is negative 1.5. That's the first one. Then if negative 1.5 to negative 0.5, that's from here. Yeah, let me try this a little bit better. It's this section. Yep, I went too far. That section right there, which ends at negative zero point 0.5. And then the final section, from here to there, it's going down, which is at 1.2, 1.2 to infinity. And so there we go. Those are all the places the graph is going down.